Wednesday morning. My name is Kwame Owusudan, so you can call me Champion KOD and I'll respond straight to you. I am super elated to be here seated, to be alive, to be breathing, and to be contributing my significant best to the development of this country. It may be a microscopic part of the very many contributions others are doing, but I think my microscopic part is as important as others' humongous parts. So all of us must put our hands on the wheel, our feet on the accelerator, so that Ghana can be driven forward in a positive manner. They say we are resetting, so all of us are indeed resetting. So let me extend my voice of appreciation to the very many Ghanaians who are poised and very eager to contributing to the reset agenda from wherever it is that you find yourself, whether in academia, whether in law, whether in politics, whether in health, whether in industry, trade, everywhere, anywhere you find yourself. Please just be truthful and patriotic to our motherland, and Ghana will definitely be reset for the betterment of generations yet unborn. Welcome aboard. Make sure you send your views, your comments, your thoughts, your agreement, your disagreement, your divergence to the WhatsApp and text number, which is currently on your screens, and I will be more than excited to read those messages here for you. For those of you who are watching us across the world, you can do so via our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, Pan-African Television. Pan-African Television. Now, if you're watching us outside of the jurisdiction of Ghana, make sure that you add +233 before punching in the number and send your views to us. We will read them here for you. The topics we've tabled for today's conversation: 81 hopefuls seek to unseat 92-year-old Paul Biya in Cameroon election. I wonder why Paul Biya still wants to contest, even though he's struggling to walk. AG drops Unibank case against the four others. NDC's 2/3 parliamentary majority and what it means for Ghana's democracy. Mahama Cares bill passed by Parliament, and you know tomorrow Honorable Atufosin will be before Parliament to present the budget to the hearing of all of us. And because we are fortunate to have a financial expert and an economist here seated, it is imperative that we make projections and sort of read or go into the mind of government to know exactly what will prevail tomorrow when Atufosin mounts the podium to speak to the generality of the Ghanaian people relative to the budget. Now, having said that, let me quickly introduce my panelists for today's conversation. Professor Isaac Boadi is here seated. Good morning to you, sir. I trust you're well.
Very well. And good morning to you and your viewers, and good morning to my colleagues as well.
Also here seated, Honorable Timothy Kojo Atabwade Awuntrim. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You don't like Kojo? Or you like Kwesi?
I don't like Kojo.
You like Kwesi?
I like Kwame.
Where you going on Saturday?
I think so.
You think so? All right. Dr. Esilfi is also here seated. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
With your trademark hat.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I don't go and leave it behind.
You look like a Nigerian when you wear that.
Because I am quite Zakwache,
Ah.
Yes. I have Nigerian blood. Because
so you remind me of those
Pan-African
Nigerian movies when the rich people used to wear these Ojuju rich people. They used to wear these kinds of hats.
It's a wrong perception that they've been.
Kanayo. You want to use me for rituals this morning?
No, I will not use you.
Having said that, let me also extend a voice of greetings to my very, 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 very good friend, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Professional Studies in Accra, Professor Kwaku Mauto. Good morning to you this morning. I know you're doing the watching. And also to all the viewers at Jubilee House. When I get to Jubilee House lately, I get a lot of fans. It means that you people have started watching Pan-African TV again. Thank you very much. And to the police hierarchy, good morning to all of you, and thank you very kindly for always watching us, particularly the IGP, Tete Yohonu, the Dr. Gariba, and then the other doctor, Vance Gariba, operations. Let me say a very special good morning to you. And the beautiful CID boss, good morning to you as well. People say you are very beautiful. I've not seen you, but I'm sure you are beautiful, as they say. Good morning to you, madam. And to all the regional commanders across the country, I want to say good morning and thank you very much for your service to the country, Ghana. Particularly, my very, very good friend, the regional commander for Western North, Dr. Chidi. Good morning. And I trust that you are holding the fort. You know, Galamsey is, it's a big deal in Western North. And I want to believe that you are really steadfast in fighting Galamsey. Galamsey is a topic that we've not been discussing. I think we need to revisit that conversation. Let me kickstart the conversation with the upcoming elections in Cameroon, where Paul Biya is seeking to rerun to become the president of Cameroon. I'm sure you are as shocked as I am. I'm sure you are as confused as I am. I'm sure you are beginning to question the relevancy of democracy, particularly across the African continent. Wherefore, some African leaders have taken an undue have come to know as democracy, in hoodwinking, oftentimes in stealing the mandate of the people for their own parochial interest. The example in Cameroon is not different from the examples that we have come to know across the continent. In Togo, it is evident. In Ivory Coast, it is evident. In Sudan, it is evident. In Rwanda, it is evident. And in many other African countries, it is quite axiomatic that the leaders that we have taken undue advantage and have violated quite flagrantly the rules of law, or the rule of law that is supposed to be the bedrock upon which democracy thrives. Honorable Tim, with the greatest of respect, let me start the conversation with you. Proceed, sir.
Okay, Keode, let me say good morning once again, and good morning to our viewers out there and to my colleagues here. We thank God for His mercies today and for the small showers of blessings we had.
Big.
Okay, whatever that may be, we are grateful to the Almighty God. You see, what you have said is equally akin to how even members of parliament have taken advantage of areas they believe is their stronghold. So they continue to win the elections through whatever means that is possible, whether buying their way to the continue to knowing that even after winning the elections, it is foregone that they will go to parliament. And when you look at the expectation of the constituents, if you look at the expectation of what the constituents wants in terms of development and advocacy on behalf of those constituents, they do not get it. And some of them have taken advantage and stay on the seats for long. You realize anytime such long people move out and a young fellow comes, he begins to give the people the needed development. No matter how minimal it is big. So as for power drunkenness, we know that even under Montesquieu's theory of power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolute in terms of separation of powers is being played here. Once people are entrenched in an entrusted power given to them to meet the needs of the people, and they use it dangerously, as we are seeing in the case of Cameroon, is an issue that we must all advocate against. At the age 90, 81, even from 70 going, you should be retiring to be a statesman and groom people who would have the energy, who would have the capacity to be able to bring in new ideas to support our people. In terms of Africa, and for that matter Cameroon, development has become a conundrum. The amount of resources that has been used by these people, if you juxtapose that with the real resource or output of such resources to meet the needs of the people, is completely nothing to write home about. For instance, in this country, let's look at the Auditor General report that is coming. We just saw what came in 2024. Completely annoying. There's so much amount of money has fizzled out through state institutions under the guise of irregularities. What is irregularity? It's stealing. No one should come and define anywhere to me. I know Prof will be trying to bring financial explanation as to what financial irregularity is. Prof, we are not going to agree. It's stealing. Whatever that you do, whatever that you do to fleece the people of this country of the needed development by not using the resources bequeathed to you judiciously, then you must be held accountable. What difference is it going to make if an 81-year-old is taken over from a 92-year-old? Are they mocking the people of Cameroon? Are we mocking our people? Are we saying that we'll continue to do what we want to do no matter the cries of our people? Yesterday we had the privilege of being at the UPSA on the 13th memorial lecture of Professor John Evans Atamios. Everybody in this country, including Africa and the world at large, believes that this was a quintessential gentleman, man with humility, man who placed the people of this country above his own interest. In fact, what instead did even Mills have? He had no interest. His interest was to get people happier and to ensure that the resource that have been given to him, wherever he took it from, he made life better for our people. He has become an icon. He has become a celebrated elder of this continent. Like it or leave it, no matter how you twist it, you cannot write off Professor Mills in the annals of the Ghanaian history, and for that matter, Africa. I've seen the current president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, doing a lot. You talked about reset in this country, in this man. And I've also seen the mischievous people saying that John Mahama wants to stay in power for the next, after 20. John Mahama has no intention, and he will not stay in power. You remember his recent visit to Kumasi when he talked about completing the project that is there. He hopes, well, this is what he said, I hope I'll be able to have the privilege and the honor to commission this project before I leave power in 2029. That was from his own mouth. He just said that I hope to have the privilege and the honor to commission these projects in Kumasi before I leave governance in 2029. He just said that. So for me, the case of Cameroon is completely not acceptable. I know the Cameroonians have young, energetic politicians. The senior men should be looking at grooming people to take over them and ensure that their legacy, that is, like the good ones, are maintained. The bad ones should be reset. And people who are found culpable of fleecing hard-earned resources of the various countries should be taken on. And for me, I kept saying that, look, I will not get up in the morning, come and sit here with Prof and begin to defend NDC people who might have one way or the other corrupted. I will not do that. Because when you were doing the corruption, you didn't tell me. I suffered to come here. So I cannot come and be... I will not do that today, and I will not do that tomorrow. You took the money and spent with your family, so you should take it. I will not do that. In fact, I will put in more fire for you to be jailed. And I'll be laughing. It doesn't mean that when we belong to the same political party, you should do something untoward. Look, this morning when I was hearing that the CEO for forestry had issued 107 permits for people to go into, I think they're those in charge of timber. And the news added that I think the permits were to enter areas that were not supposed to. Why would the CEO do that? Prof, why would they see? When we are all struggling for something, why can't I keep telling people that, look, I've been a member of parliament, but I've not worked in the executive. I don't know how that works out. And I'm glad they revoke all those licenses. We are struggling with something. You go out within 7 months and you are issuing license. Why? Who is pushing who? Who is asking who to do the wrong thing? And you don't know that you must hold on. Yes, timber logging is legal, it's blah, blah. But we are resetting every institution. Let the reset be done. then we'll begin to go back. We'll be made. Look, so for me, I think that it's a lesson in Nigeria, our neighbor. We have Tinubu, who has also, his party has declared him a candidate fit to contest the next elections. These are all lessons. Look at Nigeria. Look at the youth there. Look at how energetic they are. And I think that as we move forward, countries and their personalities in countries that have dominated the political scene for long, they should begin to give way to new and energetic people to take over.
Prof, I think that, Honorable Tim has sought to look at it from a more futuristic perspective, that we need to pull parity in terms of where we are now as a continent relative to the organization of demonstrations, okay? And getting leaders that align with the future, if you like, of those countries. But what is most significant is the conduct of the elections itself. How as Africans we have all the time, really, particularly when we are in some positions of power, use state resources, state institutions to further our own parochial interests. And in the example, or in the case of Paul Biya, it's quite evident how over the period he has sought to use the police, the military to brutalize main people so that he could continue to stay in office. Is it going to be different? Do you see that it's going to be different?
It is a difficult question to answer. And good morning again, once again, to your viewers and to yourself. I think Africa, we have a problem. And it's one of the issues that we are confronted with today. And we are discussing this morning. In our field, there's nothing wrong with age in academia. The simple theory is that when you advance in age, you speak wisdom in life, in our tradition. We go to the old people for counsel, for advice. So when it comes to academia, the more you advance in age in an area, you become a force to reckon with. You give more advice, credible advice to the young generation. In Ghana, I think our work, the rate we have, age-wise, you are supposed to work up to 60, is it 60 years?
Yes.
Yeah, 60.
Then you go on retirement.
In the cases where you are given, is it 2-2?
Yeah, you go to, yeah. So let's assume that 4 years after your retirement, they give you a contract. But if you go to other jurisdictions, you can teach, if you're a professor, you're a doctor, I think after your retirement, you can teach as many years as your health will allow you to teach. The idea is that you have more knowledge in an area and that you become a resource, you become a key member to help a faculty. So they keep you there. What do you see in our political terrain, especially in Africa? Paul Biya has been in power, I think, for 43 years now. And you can ask so many questions. Is he the only person in Cameroon who is vested, or in terms of knowledge, fountain of knowledge, wisdom? I'm not sure he might be the only person. Since I think 1982, when he took over. He contested with Morris, the opposition leader then.
Yeah.
And then a lot of foul play in the political elections. What do we see today? Because of the fact that he's advanced in age, one, and the real public appearance. These two issues have fueled speculation that the man is unfit to govern. Unfit to govern. Cameroon can boast about 70% of youth who are unemployed or so, in terms of the population. And we have about 82 opposition parties or leaders who want to contest. Look at the scenario. Already, Cameroon has, they have two issues. The Boko Haram challenge, and then the issue about Anglophone crisis, which they have. So already, the place is a bit fragile. Now we have 82 opposition parties to challenge a 92-year-old man. It's a joke. 82. I say 81. So 81.
You mean just from 80 going?
It means opposition party. We've seen some fragmented already, and there's no unity amongst these 82 people who want to contest or challenge this 92-year-old person. It's a joke. It means that they themselves, they have problems. They are not united. Why can't you put resources together and just allow one person or two people to contest him? So for me, the political terrain or it's more in favor of Pobia. The system is more in favor of Pobia. And I don't know if they're going to win these elections. If they don't do their things right, I don't think they'll be able to unseat this 92-year. But how can a 92-year-old person want to still contest an election? This can only happen in Africa. My brother, it can only happen in Africa. In other jurisdictions, you don't hear this. So what are the implications? What are we learning out of this? So every situation you learn out of this. In fact, if you're not, strong enough to contest, to run, you only back off. Allow those who have the knowledge, those in terms who have the energy to contest. But this is a pure waste of time and waste of resources. So I think in Africa, Ghana, I think we will not allow this thing to happen. We will not allow it. My friend was talking about the second term for our president. I don't think our president would want to do that. He won't. Know him very well. He will not. But it's a lesson to all of us that we must be guided going forward.
Doc. Yeah, briefly.
There is a reason for which when you get to a certain age, it is required of you to take retirement. One, it is because maybe at that particular point in age, the brain capacity has retarded significantly. And so your ability to actually process information and come out with an informed decision is actually hampered. And that is nature, it's natural. So it's kind of a problem in Africa where almost about 60 to 70% of the nations on the continent of Africa, old folks want to be in the helm of affairs. You made mention of Tinubu in Nigeria. In Uganda, if you go, my own uncle, Museveni, Kaguta Museveni, is there.
You already Museveni.
Yes. And another name of it is called Kaguta.
Kaguta.
Yes. And then if you go to Cameroon, it's also, recently the French president invited some of the African presidents, for some sort of discussion in Paris. And at the point of welcoming them, you could see the way this man was walking. Virtually, the French president ought to get down from the stage and come and meet him along the way and hug him and greet him, because he senses that if you allow him to, move at that particular distance, anything could happen. In Uganda, for instance, right now, I don't know if you've seen on social media, there is this man, very old, with even saliva dripping off the mouth. And he's still on campaign. Crazy as a continent. So no wonder the kind of output we are getting in leadership. And mostly these things happen as a result of the fact that, you see, for the fear of leaving office due to some crimes that they have committed. They are afraid that when they leave office and maybe a young and exuberant leader takes over, and the person seeks to bring some sort of justice into the system, they might be found, culpable, or they may become victim of their own, or a victim of their own circumstance or crime that they have committed. And then some of these things too, you see, we can't say this or we can't talk about this without talking about the foreign or Western influence.
True.
If you look at Cameroon, for instance, over the years he has had a very good relationship with the French president. And you know how the Francophone countries, even their monies or their currencies are printed by French. And so it is very difficult and hard for any other person who doesn't, think from the same angle with the French executive to be at the helm of affairs. Recently, look at Ivory Coast. I'm told that the current president wants to go for another term and all of that. So it's a lesson, and the question is also that as young people, in as much as we are speaking about old people taking over, the leadership of nations, what preparations are we also doing to prepare ourselves to take over from these people? In Ghana here, virtually every young politician has some bit of corruption, debt in his or her, shirt. If you look at the past administration, you could see that the names that have come in the form of Ora, majority of them are young people. And that also speaks very bad of us. That as we are, advocating that these old people should leave office and allow fresh-blooded young people to take over, what kind of moral high ground have we also built as young people? Have we also, groomed ourselves to be competent enough to handle state resources and then administer it in such a way that the downtrodden and then to the bourgeoisie, everybody will have a fair share, or a fair share of the national cake? We need to have a very comprehensive dialogue on that, because it's not just about pushing the old people away. The point of the matter is that the substitutes coming, are they, well prepared enough to take over? People always disagree with me when I cite this example, but Traore, for example, has proven that the young people have something to offer, even though the means that he came into office is not the usual one that everybody expects. But you see, all these things, I call them democratic coup d'etat. You understand? Prof was talking about, elections in Cameroon over the years. Not only Cameroon, even in Nigeria. Look at the circumstances through which Tinubu was confirmed president. It landed in their Supreme Court, and most of the times the ruling government, the perception is that they have, or they are in bed with, other arms of government, and he sailed through. If you go to Uganda, the main opposition leader, I don't know whether he's dead or not, was actually unfairly put in prison, and he had to embark on hunger strike to the extent that he was looking very pale and slim. The last time I watched, I don't know, he was actually not fit, and I will be very surprised if he's still alive this time. And all these things is going on in Africa, and we claim, the so-called international bodies like United Nations and human rights advocates and all of that don't seem to see anything, because more or less they benefit from all these atrocities that go on or that are perpetrated by these so-called leaders across Africa. So let's see how it goes. 81 people trying to contest. I will not be surprised that out of the 81, about 60% of them are also 70-something years. If they come and then they bid for maybe 2 terms, by the time they leave office, some of them are around almost 80 or 90 years. So it's just like, and in our local parlance, they say if an old woman dies, and after dying, you appoint the inheritor, the person who inherits him or her, is also old. It's just that you have just postponed the funeral. You have not done anything. You have just postponed the funeral. So I will entreat we, the young people, we should build ourselves and then stay away from corrupt acts and build competence and prepare ourselves, because you see, God is so wonderful. Mahama, for instance, never thought that he could become president. This is a man who had left office, and then he wanted to leave politics and go to Russia to pursue his PhD and come back and then undertake other professional activities. Then out of the blues, Professor Mill said, hey, you are not going anywhere. Come and then be my running mate. And today, you all see where he is now. So from the start, from starters, he never thought of becoming a president. But nature has a way of, appointing people at whatever point in time to lead the affairs of state or nations. So all of us here, maybe 5-10 years to come, we wouldn't know. We even have a former or still vice presidential candidate, around here, amongst us here. We never know what the future holds for us. So for me, every day when I wake up and I still have energy to do whatever I need to do, I try my best to the level that by the time the day goes to an end, I have acquired a different knowledge. As we speak, yes, economics is my field, but even though I've not started law school, I've started reading law books. I've started reading philosophy and other kind of books. You understand? Because to be a leader, you need to have that particular pool of knowledge from various fields. And beautiful, the last time I was at a program where President Mahama was speaking, and I was so surprised. This man could speak about mining as if he's a miner. He could speak about education as if he's an educationist. He could speak about agric as if as if he's an agriculturist, and all of that. That is the kind of competence I want to build, and I want to treat my fellow youth. That you never know, you can become a minister, you can become an ambassador, you can become a president, anytime, anywhere. You need to build your capacity, and then whilst we build our capacity, we need to also hold hands together and fight this canker of old age people taking, reins of power, and then retarding the progress of the nation. Because at that time, the brain is tired, you yourself, the body is tired. How many hours can you sit in meetings in a day? You see, it's just about that glorification, your excellency. That is what they are actually interested in. But the point of the matter is that, running a state is a serious business. It's not for jokers. You understand? You need to be health-wise, you need to be very fit. Mentally, you need to be strong. You understand? Because sometimes, assuming there are demonstrations here and there, what have you, have that hot seat, how can you actually have control of issues and things? So at the end of the day, these old people, it is the appointees who take advantage of the whole situation and then mess up the resources of the state and then impoverish the people. So I want to treat with the young people to build our capacity and begin to fight this canker.
Well, thank you very much. Let me go for this quick commercial break. When I return, the next topic that we're going to be looking at has got to do with the AG dropping the charges against Dr. Kwabena Dufo and 7 others. Stay with us.
Hello, Madam Bola. How are you and how is Lagos?
Kwame, Lagos Deo. How is Accra?
Accra is fine. We can't complain. Are my fabrics on the way?
Yes, sir. I hope my money is also on the way.
As we speak, my accountant is sending money to you and others at GCB.
Money joins.
That is a lifesaver.
Yeah, Lady D. What's up, baby?
Tia, I got the money.
Oh, that's beautiful. It was fast.
Oh, and guess what? It was so easy and faster than I thought.
I'm busy right now. Let me call you back later, yeah? All right. Love you, baby.
See you soon. Bye.
From country to country, make seamless transactions across Africa with GCB. For more information on parts and how to get started, call toll-free on 0800 422 422.
GCB, your bank for life.
Welcome back, and I was singing a very wonderful song by Kojo Entry. I'm sure you heard a little bit of it. You are still watching the most authoritative morning show program on the continent, Good Morning Africa, with yours truly, Kwame Usudanso Esquire. We have just dispensed with the African stories got to do with the upcoming elections in Cameroon, where Paul Biya is still in the race contesting. to lead the country again, despite being a 91-year-old man. We have managed to deal with that particular matter here on the show. Now we are coming back to our country, where we have a number of issues that we are going to be dealing with here on the morning show. One of such is the recent development in our legal space, where the Attorney General, we are learning, through a publication that was posted on the page of Justice Shemsai, my very good friend Dr. Shemsai, on his Facebook page, indicative of it's not a discontinuance. This was a nolle prosequi having been entered in relation to the matter, of the Republic against Dr. Dufour and 7 others. Now, you do know that between 2017 and 2019, Ghana was, most of the banks were at the verge of collapse, and it triggered some banking sector cleanup, and I'm sure a popular decision by the then Akufo-Addo administration to close down some banks and to merge some. Now, Dr. Dufour, who was the former Bank of Ghana governor, the founder of Unity Bank, was a subject matter of investigation. Indeed, he was charged with money laundering, theft, mismanagement, which led to the collapse of Unity Bank, together with some other persons, including his own son, Dr. Dufour number 2. And so yesterday, the Attorney General entered a nolle prosequi. A nolle prosequi essentially is that the state is no longer interested in the matter, but the Attorney General sought to give some form of explanation by saying that they want to relook at how we prosecute matters in this country. And so the other requirement really is, if there is evidence that the accused persons are doing whatever it takes to refund the monies or pay back the monies to the state, and if they managed to meet the threshold of 60%, then the state will discontinue the matter, or will enter a nolle prosequi in discontinuance of the matter. Now, the effect of nolle prosequi is that that matter cannot be revisited by anybody, or the subject matter of that particular suit cannot be revisited, or that particular suit, the subject matter of which has been dealt with by the Attorney General in relation to the option of nolle prosequi, cannot be a subject matter for any determination by any court. That's the effect. Now, the AG proceeds to say that this is not to say that no wrongdoing or no offense has occasioned. So there's this admission that yes, a wrongdoing had occasion. But then again, the question then becomes, it means that you, the Attorney General, you are acting as a judge, because it is only the judge that can make that pronouncement. You, the Attorney General, are required by law, in the event that the state does not have what it takes to prosecute, to enter a nolle prosequi. The determination of whether or not an offense has occasioned is the sole preserve of the judge who is sitting on the matter. So I beg to differ on that particular score. But let's look at this particular issue and posit it within the proper context, that it is becoming increasingly clear, crystal clear to all of us that the current administration appears to be visiting and revisiting matters which were before competent courts of jurisdiction, which matters started during the erstwhile administration. All those matters, it appears, have been dealt with or are being dealt with in a certain manner that is, that is symptomatic, if you like, of the government's posturing of wanting to either discontinue matters or entering of nolle prosequi, or expressing some disinterest in those matters, and raising eyebrows, and people beginning to ask questions whether or not this is part of the research agenda, that if there is ample evidence in support of an allegation of a crime having been committed, the Attorney General, because there's been change of government, because most of those persons were persons who belong to this particular administration, those persons will be freed. Dr. Sylvie, is it not a cause for worry that we should worry that some floodgate is being opened, which floodgate eventually may come back to be the flood that consumed humanity during the times of Noah?
Quick one, so I will look at this matter on 3 pillars. 1, optics. 2, form. And 3, substance. For optics, you have just made mention of it. It's not good for this current administration. Not good for this current administration because specifically for this particular matter, people are of the opinion that is it because Dr. Dufour is especially when he himself, on behalf of the directors of Unibank, wrote a letter in acceptance that he's going to pay the money to the tune, I think the money was around 5 billion Ghana cedis.
Yeah, it was $112 million.
Okay. Yeah. I think in cedis it was, by using the exchange rate then, it was 5 billion.
Yeah. So 122 million.
5.7 billion, yes.
There was 600, okay, yes. Well, yeah, so the total amount is 5.3 billion.
Yes.
What was disbursed or allegedly advanced to Dr. Dufour was around 663 million Ghana cedis, amounting to about 122 million US dollars.
Exactly.
122 million.
Yeah. So Prof is saying that using the CD dollar equivalent rate at that time, I think it's around 5.7 billion. Okay. So question is, someone who on behalf of his directors for the bank had agreed that he was going to pay the money. What kind of negotiation went on for this decision to be taken? So perception-wise, for the optics, it's not good for the government.
Yep.
And this is not the first one. We saw the Opuni case. We've seen the former Works and Housing Minister, Collins Dowda case. And we have seen few cases. I'm not saying all those cases were meritorious. But the point of the matter is that if I were to be the AG, I would have allowed the process to go and then a conclusion is actually arrived at. But that is not to say that I have all the information that he has on his table. But the point of the matter is that, you see, in governance, one of the reasons for which political parties lose power is perception. If your actions and inactions create a wrong optics or perception in the minds of people, it costs you politically. So this is a man who has been the longest Bank of Ghana governor under the days of Rawlings till the early days of President Kufuor. And then under Professor Mills, he was a finance minister. And everybody, it is well known that he's a card-bearing member of NDC. And his party is in government now. And at the inception of the case, he wrote a letter on behalf of the directors that he was going to pay. He even showed documents of properties that he was willing to use to pay. Then all of a sudden, the AG tells us that a negotiation has been arrived, and if he's able to pay 60%.
He has met the threshold of paying 60%.
60%.
That is why they have entered a null prosequi. So there's a difference. There's what we call withdrawal and discontinuance.
Yes.
And there's what we call null prosequi.
Yeah.
Withdrawal and discontinuance would mean that at this material moment, there may not necessarily be evidence available for us to prosecute the matter.
Yeah.
But the effect of that is that anybody can revisit the matter. Null prosequi, you can't
revisit.
For the legal reason of avoiding double jeopardy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thanks for the education. You know me, I'm not a lawyer. So
you don't need to be a lawyer to understand.
So the point of the matter is that it sends, the whole thing sends a wrong signal to the general populace, and the government needs to be tread cautiously when it comes to matters of this nature. Now, for the form, I will ask, who went into the negotiation?
Good question.
How did they arrive at the threshold of 60%?
Yes.
And the 60% of what?
Of what figure?
Of what figure?
Of the total amount.
So the total amount, we need the details. Dr.
No. If I own 100,
hold
on. The total amount of what?
Because the total amount is what?
And what is the total? That is
it cannot be. That is the four alone. Just 663.
Yes, but the rest.
So the rest
no
is a cumulative figure of 5.3.
So who are those?
So there are others. That's what
I'm not secured by the Dufours.
That is Unibank's own.
Yes.
Other banks were
60% that Dufour paid. Is it part of it? No, is it part of the 5.6?
That's the question that he is asking.
So you see,
it is part of the 5.3 billion.
You see that even amongst us, we are
one
debating.
that he owes, or he
as Dufour.
Yes, because
personally.
he as Dufour personally, okay, is alleged to have received 663.3 million Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And for criminal offences, it is on individual basis.
Yeah.
And so, if God forbid, but Dr. Silfi is alleged to have committed an offence, or both of you have committed offences together, you can be, on the charge sheet, all of you will be charged separately, but for the same offence.
Yeah.
So when they are handing down, let's say the sentencing, they would say that maybe your involvement was minimal compared to that of Dr. Silfi. Maybe God forbid, but Dr. Silfi will be given, let's say, 6 months, but you will be given, let's say, 1 month. It's an individual ask because of the lack of knowledge, and which is why the lacuna has been created. Which lacuna is now the lacuna itself is prevailing upon us to ask all of these relevant questions.
Exactly. So, if I may quickly proceed and end. So, that's 60% of what. And we know of only Dr. Dufour. The rest of the banks and all of that, we don't know. I think the Attorney General did not do us a good service by refusing to add further and better particulars or information to the letter that he actually provided. Out of which, even amongst us here, you see we are jojoing and all of that in terms of argument or whatever. So it's very, very key. And then, what kind of economic analysis also went into the whole computation or the whole negotiation to decide that maybe not 70%, not 80%, but 60%? That is a very critical question that the Attorney General also ought to come in, and then the negotiation, was it only the Attorney General or other lawyers were part of it, and then maybe financial experts were part of it, and then did they look at the whole circumstances surrounding the whole issue, out of which that they agree on the 60%. We need to be, fed with such information. I always, talk about the fact that government over the years don't help matters. Most of these critical decisions, it is shredded in secrecy and all of that, and it creates them, the perception, the impression that maybe someone somewhere has some sort of, motive or interest in some of these matters. So, in terms of the form, I think that. Yes, according to lawyers, they say there is a law that actually, talks about, this non-whatever conviction, whatever payment or something like that. But most of the laws that we actually, create in this country favor the elite and the rich, in the sense that somebody stole goods and plantain, and he's now at Insawam. Could this law also apply? Could this same arrangement also apply? The issue of people committing a crime and then allowing them to come and pay up to a particular threshold, or even recover the money and letting them go free without them facing the criminal, kind of consequences of that, it's also a very serious issue to consider. Because when you do that, you are rather incentivizing people to steal, to steal from the nation, and then when we need to be very, very smart as people to ensure that when people loot the state of hard-earned resources, scarce resources, they are made to face the full rigors of the law. And for me, I prefer the state going both ways, civil and criminal. The civil is about recovering the loot, and then the criminal is about serving a well-deserved sentence to serve as a deterrent for others who are also sitting on the bench wanting to do the same thing. Quickly, now, for substance, we are looking at the impact on the economy. Yes, 60% of what that money, at least it will resolve something. We know two ways about it. But I don't think that it is actually sufficient enough for people to commit such a crime, they are allowed to pay up to a particular threshold, and then they say, go home, eat and drink with your children.
You know, it's a very, very, very brilliant submission that you've put forward. I mean, because, Prof, it's telling of how we are treating, or we appear to be treating some crimes with kids' gloves. Because the message that we are sending out is that you can actually steal from the state, okay, and use that money or invest that money, okay, and when you are caught, you would have made profit on the money that you've stolen, and so you will come and pay back 60%. And I'm sure that the non-mentioning of the 40% would mean that 40% is not a bad debt.
Yeah.
It's not a bad debt.
Yeah.
So I can steal $100 million, invest $40 million, keep the $60 million in my house. In fact, invest all the $100 million. Okay? Make profit off the $100 million. When I'm caught, I can negotiate with the state to pay $60 million. Okay? Yeah. Which $60 million I would have made profit on it, because it's part of the $100 million. So if, for instance, $100 million, you know that the net profit that you can make will be more than even the $100 million that you've invested. So you can actually make maybe a quarter of that amount. And looking at the time frame, you may have even made profit that equals the $100 million that you stole from the state. So now you're not even going to be paying from the principal money that you stole from the state. You can even pay from the profit that you made from the state. That is the danger. That is the fear. So if we say that we are in a new regime, and the understanding is that for people who have stolen money from the state, we are not going to only pursue sentencing or incarceration. We are going to pursue the angle of recovery, right? Then there must be a clear roadmap indicating that if you stole $100 million, you are going to pay back the $100 million, including interests. And maybe there can be some negotiation in relation to the interest that you will pay on the money. But to say that the principal that you stole, you are only going to return 60% of that principal that you stole, which principal we are certain that you may have made more profit from, then it is unconscionable for anybody to take that decision. Brood over this for a second. Let me go for this quick commercial break. When I come back, let's discuss this matter dispassionately. Stay with us.
Hello, Madam Bola. How are you and how is Lagos?
Kwame, Lagos day oh. How is Accra?
Accra is fine. We can't complain. Are my fabrics on the way?
Yes.
Sending money to you and others at GCB.
Money don't enter.
That is a lifesaver.
Yeah, Lady D. What's up, baby?
Tia, I got the money.
Oh, that's beautiful. It was fast.
Oh, and guess what? It was so easy and free.
From country to country, make seamless transactions across Africa with GCB. For more information on parts and how to get started, call toll-free on 0800 422 422.
GCB, your bank for life.
You are still watching your most authoritative. We speak truth to power. We don't mince words. We don't try to sugarcoat anything. We say it as it is, because we speak and represent the interests of the Ghanaian people, irrespective of whose ox is God. Prof, I made previous commentaries on this matter, and respectfully, if you can respond to my questions and my suggestions.
Yes, KOD, I think I've written an article on this this morning, I think on my Joy, on the same issue. it's good to reset. But let's be honest, reset cannot cover everything in the country. There are some of the issues you need to leave them hanging. Don't even allow it to lie down. Don't touch it. There are some of the issues, don't touch them at all. Because when you do that, you revisit a lot of issues for a government and for administration. You know, I don't know how the media is going to treat this issue. I don't know how legal brains, the economics, the finance guys, if you borrow money from a bank and they don't pay, and when they are coming after you, in fact, all the years you've absconded, they add, and you're allowed to pay interest on the money. What is the issue here, KOD? Very simple. A bank had been involved in some fraud, anti-money laundering saga, about 5 or 6 charges leveled against a bank to the tune of 5.7 billion. Another administration takes over, and in 6 months, we are told they are not interested in pursuing the case anymore. I'm just giving a scenario. When the corporate had openly stated, I am going to pay the money, that's what we are confronted with. Now, let's be charitable with AG. AG gives us 3 reasons why they are no more interested in the case. The first reason, they said insufficient evidence to secure a conviction. 2, they stated procedural delays that weakens the case with the defendants. 3 key reasons. And I'm happy the portion that you touched from the AG report. Did I hear you say they didn't talk about wrongdoings at occasion? Did they say that?
No.
No.
That it doesn't mean that.
There were no.
Yes.
So meaning that there were.
Because, what is it? The AG also reaffirmed his office commitment. Okay, hold on. So the AG's office further clarified that the decision, quote, does not imply an absence of wrongdoing nor a vindication of any conduct, unquote.
So clear.
Yeah.
Now, let's look at this. Take 60%, that threshold. And I asked a similar question, same question this morning. The team that were put together, those members that consisted that committee that said, let's have a threshold of 60%. So when you agree with us, we'll make an agreement. You pay 60%. And in the same report, AG tells us, going forward, we should have a better way of resolving such issues in our country. That's a clear indication. Let's pick some cases here. Unibank case is about 5.7 billion. Yeah. What is this? Charges discontinued after recovering 6. Opuni and Agongo. Okay, do you know that amount?
I'm listening.
271 million. Charges dropped. Ambulance purchase, Forcing and Japa, 13.5 million, which is about equivalent to about 2 million euro. Charges drop, appeal withdrawn. Another case, Unibank UT collapse, Asiama. Now, SNET OS OBS project 16.3.
15.
16 15.
15. 15.3 million. Yeah. US dollars.
Cases discontinued. Just after 6 months in administration.
Yep.
My brother said, for the optics, what are we going to say about administration? Do you know that 60% of 15, the 5.7?
Tell me.
Of our 3.4 billion. Is it not equivalent?
Ghana citizens.
Yeah. it's not close to the project, the amount they need for the project, the 24-hour economy. We are looking for funding. So I know that this amount, the 3.4 billion, is sitting down for this analysis. That if you have taken 60% of the amount, then today we can walk to the bank or walk into the government, the treasury, and take the money. Is that the case? I'm yet to be told. There are a lot of implications about this when we do this. And he mentioned economic part. What about the other side on political implications? What about issues on legal matters? We have a lot of issues on this. And Kilde, I think our government needs to be careful in some of these issues. You know, for some few months, anytime there were attempts to introduce a tax or some other policy, the ministers will come out and then they will give Ghanaians that, well, we are going to do this. Few minutes or days, the government will step in and say, no, don't do this. For the optics, it may look good. But sometimes in doing this, you weaken the base of the strength of your administration. Because what are they going to say again the next time? And if you allow this money to be negotiated, I don't have a problem if you want to save your party members, because a political figure in the party. You cannot write the four off. The issue is that what happened to other cases that we have? It wasn't only the force bank, Unibank. So are you going to say that of Beige Bank, Capital, all these banks, if I walk to a bank and borrow money and abscond, I don't pay. What happens to me? I pay the principal, I pay the interest, and even pay the penalty. Is that what we are discussing now? But you see, in life, when something happens, we learn. We learn from bad issues. The issue is that what are the reforms that are needed to prevent future bank collapse? That's what I'm trying to learn here. You need money, you want to introduce taxes for us to pay. People have, in so many ways, have stolen money. They have admitted, they have attempted to make payments, and you say you won't go after them. How are you going to get funding to support your projects? That's my challenge.
All right.
But the last thing is that what are the reforms that are needed to prevent future bank collapse?
Okay. Well, brilliant submissions by all standard. I've seen some messages that are coming. I'm going to read a few of them before I come to you, Honorable Timothy Awontirim. Now, this one says, it's from Kujo Tete. It says, can you imagine asking Gabi Asare Otredako, who stole millions of dollars from us, to just bring 60% and go free? This AG should know he's falling apart. This is on Facebook. I've seen a lot of messages on Facebook, but for some strange reason I can't go back and read them. So, but you can resend those messages. You are simply just calling the WhatsApp number. If you do so, I can't read. Good morning to you, Shea KOD Esquire. The law is the law, but as for this one, the AG should come again. What about the so-called petty crimes like the goats, the plantain thieves, and the joint smoker? What are they going to give back? This political go and sin no more is not bad. Now, this one also says, good morning to you, KOD. Obviously, this morning, you guys have not been fair to Dr. Dufour and the 6 others. It appears to me that you are just conjecturing and making it seem that Dr. Dufour has stolen money. Don't do that, because it will not help anybody. You people should get your facts right. Those of us watching can also decipher the issues. Please tell Prof that Atu and Jakwa's case were not dropped. They won their cases in competent court of jurisdiction. Please, enough of the lies. Willie from BP. BP, where lie the lies that you are referring to? Because the AG in its own statement has indicated that the entering of nolle prosequi, okay, quote, does not imply an absence of wrongdoing, nor a vindication of any conduct, unquote. It described the move as a pragmatic step in line with the overarching national interest of recovering state resources. That is what the AG said. So even the AG in its own statement has admitted that there may possibly be some wrongdoing, and that if the matter had traveled, the outcome of the matter would have been a conviction. Now the AG is saying that we as a people need to revisit our legal or our jurisprudence in order that for matters that involves money, we should try and recover, the state should try and recover those monies as opposed to securing convictions. So it is not in doubt that the AG in itself admits that a wrongdoing may have occasioned. And this is not a vindication of the innocence of these persons. That's what the AG is saying. So if you say we have not been fair to Dr. Dufo, what are you referring to? In any event, I think the panelists on the platform do not disagree entirely with the AG. One, Dr. Esilfi is indicating that we should have a system where matters relative to corruption, malfeasance, misapplication of funds, theft, money laundering, etc., we should have dual prosecutions, civil and criminal. That is what he's saying. That right now, the state has entered a nolle prosequi in relation to the criminal matter. As for civil matter, somebody else can pick it up and run with it. So that is what we are saying. And we are saying that what went into that decision of the AG saying that because they have been able to recover 60% of the total value or total amount of money allegedly paid to Dr. Dufo, the state now has entered a nolle prosequi. That is what we are asking. We are asking very important questions because, you see, we are setting a precedent, and this precedent ought to be interrogated fairly so that tomorrow, when same is applied, we won't come back as NDC fanatics to come and criticize another government for entering a nolle prosequi in a matter that is so palpable that people have committed offenses. These are the basic questions that we are asking. So please, don't be offended by them, okay? Thank you. But Willie, thank you for your message anyway. Please educate the public very well. The 60% is a prerequisite to start a plea bargain before the 40% remaining is structured. The AG in the statement did not make the statement. We are only responding to the release, unless the AG organizes a press conference in which a clarity is brought to the matter. But before then, what we have before us are the facts as outlined by the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Srimsai. So we are only making references to the statement that was put forward by Dr. Srimsai. So yes, dear host, I'm glad the NDC has gotten two-thirds majority in Parliament, so I humbly appeal to the majority in Parliament to enact a law to expunge the name of Akufo-Addo as a former president because of the heinous economic, financial crimes and hemorrhage he visited on Ghanaians through Ken Ofori-Atta. I still continue to impress on H.E. Mahama to declare a state of emergency on water bodies and forest reserves to curb the degradation of the environment and its concomitant renal diseases. I am not an NDC member or sympathizer, but I voted for good change in 2024 general election to see the back of Akufo-Addo Nebuchadnezzar. Good morning. Charles Champon, Sefi, Homejebre in Western North region. Good morning to you, KOD. When are you guys organizing the Oral Must Work demo again? Mahama should be transparent with Ghanaians. I'm Eric from Ashaman, MPP. Never again. This one says, please, Okay. Hey, okay. Matao. Okay. Okay. You said I should call you after the morning show. Yes, please. I'll call you. Let me take a picture of your number, so I don't forget. I'll call you after the morning show, my boss. All right. I have seen your message. You are saying that I should give you a sign. I've seen your message. I'll call you. Good morning to you. Who is deceiving the NDC MPP that Ghanaians will need them again to do what? Or there are still others in the MPP who did not have enough of the looting that are looking forward to accomplishing that. In fact, if you listen to the minority leader who sold ECG equipment as Alomi, he is urging Ghanaians to support him for the sins he alone committed by saying when one person is touched to account for his deeds, we should support to resist. No one will do that because when he was chopping the alleged looted money, he didn't think of anyone else. So I don't think any well-meaning Ghanaian will fight for him. We are in support of the reset agenda. From Jake in Nsawam. Good morning to you, KOD. Thanks to all the panelist members. Is it wrong for the AG to have a press conference and explain further, please? It's not wrong at all. We are actually expecting the AG to organize a press conference and speak to the matter. I support the Attorney General's decision to enter a null prosecution in Dr. Dufour's case, but with caution. If wrongdoing was indeed established, then this move raises serious questions. Justice must not be selective. While Dufour deserves fair treatment, we cannot allow political status or connections to override accountability. The law must work for all, not just the well-placed. My champion KOD, I salute you for calling on President Mahama's administration to at least compensate the efforts of Honorable Timothy Awontirim Atabuade yesterday in ensuring they got this overwhelming victory. Honorable did a lot at the constituency level during the campaign. Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema. You watched yesterday, so you saw the fire. Good morning to you, KOD. Keep up the good work. Pascal, watching from Anloga. Pascal, Akpe na Mau. Good morning to you, KOD. The reason why Akufo-Addo could not build the cathedral was he promised to build it if God gives him the second term. Did God give him the second term? No, he didn't. He stole the elections. All right. Isaac from Ho, thank you. Masa, you send your message and I'll read it. Please don't be sending irrelevant messages. Good morning to you, KOD. Ever since you returned from the rile of the butterfly movement that's running me, you don't allow your panelists to flow. Oh, haven't I allowed my panelists to flow? Have I interrupted you?
No, you are doing watching.
Hey.
You watch another.
Masa, maybe you are watching another channel. Hey. Because I'm asking questions that is hurting the NDC, they want to gag me. Please, let me. Whether they bring the money or not, they should prosecute everyone involved. From Isaac Gwedi, Western Region. Send my regards to my name. I've sent. Honorable Tim, let me come to you. Yeah.
So I've listened to Prof and then Doc too, and I think I carried their sentiments along. First of all, you see, when issues come in this nature, the information we just got yesterday, not so much facts has been gleaned from it. But to often say that what are those who have stolen a goat or whatnot? A thief is a thief. It doesn't matter the quantity of items you steal. And that should not be just a person where monies are legally transferred to an institution to be used for the purposes for which the money has been given. And Doug also mentioned that when during the negotiation, who were those involved? Who were the lawyers and whatnot? In terms of negotiation between a contract and a government or any institution, it is you'll be invited to such negotiations at all. It's not done anywhere. There are some things that are not privy to other lawyers. The lawyers come in as what? As independent investigators on what and whose this thing. They come as civil society organizations. It's not done anywhere. So one issue, we shouldn't just blend these issues this way. And I think that moving forward, like Prof said, how are we going to prevent these things from happening in future? Such a way that when public, the taxpayers' money is given to an institution. This morning I was listening to the honorable member for, I think Malaysia, Nana Bafo Ewa. He was talking about, he was part of the case, and when he went to the case, he saw how Unibank especially helped a lot of Ghanaian entrepreneurs on. Notwithstanding that, he was equally raising issues about the way the Attorney General went about these things. First of all, the Attorney General has given nolli prosequi to other cases. In the beginning, even Chachikata refused to take a nolli prosequi for the case he was embarking on. He said he knew he had a way through. And he had also stated clearly that most of these cases that he took the nolli prosequi, he came out and explained the reasons behind them. And you're a lawyer, you know that this is the first time an Attorney General, being transparent, has come out to give reasons for which a nolli prosequi is given in terms of a specific case. They are not obliged to explain. And so, but this is the first time, in line with the resetting and good governance, he has come out to explain the circumstances under which nolli prosequi cases have been given.
How else would there have been a justification?
It's not a justification, but you're a lawyer. You know that when nolli prosequi...
You don't just get up and enter nolli prosequi.
No, what I'm saying is that...
I agree with you.
What I'm saying is that at least there's some transparency in these matters because they are of public interest. And the case where Prof cited about a forcing case, look, we lost money there, and the former IG should be taken on because the company, is it Big Z, said that they were ready to return money to us and take the ambulances back. But because the former Attorney General was fixated in getting to forcing jail, he refused that amount of money. This country lost some millions of euros because the supply of the ambulance said that I am ready to return the money, give my ambulance. The Attorney General said no. And look at the way the Attorney General ended on that particular case, embarrassingly. Coaching witnesses come and tell lies. It has never happened in the history of this country. A witness before a court, you call into a superior court judge house and you are coaching him how to come and tell a lie. So when you're an Attorney General, and I keep saying this, when an Attorney General, you are appointed a public officer, you must act in consonance with the Constitution and with the law establishing your office. The people of this country and the Constitution are those you've sworn an oath to execute your stewardship in their favor. So if you have an Attorney General, and that is why it is sacrosanct for an Attorney General appearing or prosecuting again to go there with facts, not tainted politically. If these things were done properly, probably our regime wouldn't have even come to meet this case. They would have been done and dusted. Wouldn't have even gotten to where the prosecution is being foisted on the Unibank and the Dufour people and so forth. It started before we took over power. And Prof this morning amply demonstrated the grounds or reasons for which the Attorney General said, yes, I am discontinuing this case by virtue of the fact that Dufour has reached a threshold of 60%. Who said the threshold? Is it in law? Is it grounded in law? Is it what has been done? Is it good precedence and so on? Be that as it may, once it involves public fund, I think all the amount that involved should be retrieved and put into good use for the people of this country. Dufour is a citizen, he's a law-abiding citizen, we know him. If investment has gone wrong in his name and in his company, it is incumbent on him to clean himself and to ensure that his company survive. When I came to Parliament, I remember the Unibank, I took a loan from there. And there were the people who gave us loan to buy our land cruisers and so on and so forth. So I will not sit here and say that I have not benefited from such establishment. But if along the line they've been found culpable of the issues raised against them, then they should go in the full length of the law. In fact, I've heard some of our guys in the other side of the politics saying that, oh, it was Dr. Ayene and his chambers that were lawyers to Dufour people. Yes, initially so. But later on, Dufour went in, he stopped Dr. Ayene and went in for the Nana Addo for the Prempe Chambers people to handle his case. You understand? And later on, he had even dropped the Nanado and Prempe Chambers case, lawyers handling his case, to go in for another set of lawyers. So 3 tiers of lawyers have been handling his case up to this point. from the Dominica Ineng, its chambers, to Nana Adodanko Kufado and Prempe chambers, and to the next one, which is Osiewu or something chambers and so on. They handle the issues. You understand? As we talk today, information I have is that the Attorney General will be doing full press briefing by next week to put the facts there and to why he has gotten to this stage. What we are all conjecturing now, though is good, I like the issues that has been raised, because the accountability issues, they also involve the use of public money. This is not private money, and so on. So it's early days, yes. We are going to get the full briefing by the Attorney General by next week and so on. And I believe that we can make concrete steps and demand accountability from the Attorney General and from the government of the day. There is certain that has not come in to do selective justice and so on. It should cover, especially whosoever that has been involved in state resources and its usage and so on. And I think that from here, we'll begin when we are sitting in anyone's bedroom. Don't come calling us name that we are doing persecution instead of prosecution. And I also, I think when you look at it initially, the knowledge prosecution that the Attorney General was given to other cases like the Opuni case and other one, the Dufour case was stayed aside because the Attorney General believed that he needs to recover the money before any decision of this sort can be done. That is why up to today, he waited and made sure that he recovered some amount of money and so on. Be that as may, it's a lesson to all of us as we are going forward. We don't expect to see government money to be put into state institutions or even private institutions for the benefit of this country that is not properly used. That is why I'm all for it. Whatever that, and he himself said from the beginning that he was not going to prosecute cases that do not have the facts that would merit a prosecutorial advocacy at the courts. But what he said was that he was going to also, beyond that, do a lot of negotiations to retrieve a lot of money for these people, for this country. As we sit today, under the oral, all those who have been caught within the net of the oral, most of them are doing backyard negotiations to bring in money. Most of them said, look, where it has gotten to, we better bring the money down to be brought before public to be humiliated. One of the questions that around that I think he also raises that when that is done, now are we going to get the profits that would have been accrued as a result of that money handling you? Or there are also other ways of process. If you owe 100 million, you even pay with the interest. Are you left to go scot-free? Or if it is 1 day in prison, you still go to continue to serve as deterrent. So I think what we've gotten to, I would want to not to take the win from the Attorney General. You have the privilege to brief the whole country about what is going on. And I also think that this Attorney General is doing well. He's been confronted with challenging cases. He's quite meticulous. He's all out to retrieve money and resources for the country, for the good of the people of this country. And let's commend him for now. But with specific regard to Dufour, we'll get the full facts by Monday and we'll continue from there.
I'll come to you. Yeah.
Honorable. You see, sometimes politicians, we need to be very careful about some of the analogies that you draw. I like the statement you made that a thief is a thief. And what has happened that we are discussing around this table has some criminal connotation to it. I don't want to use the word thief. I made mention of the fact that when somebody loots large sums of money from the state, there is some kind of negotiation that goes on. And more or less some grounds are softened for the person to run off the hook. And somebody out of hunger goes and then cut a plantain. Sometimes the person is playing. Let me land. No, you let me land. You understand where I'm coming from. I'm only trying to call for equality before the law. The person is put sometimes even on remand without his case not even being called for years, and the person is there rotten. Go to his home, it is there. So if I say that the culture of letting people bring part of the money that they have stolen or looted from the state, and then they are made to go scot-free, then equally it is good, to tell the person who stole the goat that, okay, let your people also bring the goat, and then you can go scot-free. You may disagree with me, but I'm only calling for the equality of the law. The point of the matter is I'm not a lawyer, you're also not a lawyer. Maybe KOD and other lawyers can educate us on this one. But equality of the law is equality before the law. You can't pick and choose. When it is, the bourgeoisies, there is some sort of compromise. If it is only, if it's about the common criminal, we should just let him go and then rot in jail. That is number one. Number two, I spoke about the negotiation who came, and you see, the Attorney General is a party on behalf of government.
Absolutely.
The lawyers of Kobne Dufo are also party on behalf of their client, isn't it? At the end of the day, the ultimate bearer of the consequences, or if there is any benefit, is the state. I'm happy you are blessed to be a former member of parliament. Is parliament not one of the arms of government? Don't we have a committee for finance and whatever over there? I'm coming. We are trying to, settle a matter concerning a resources that was taken from the state illegally, quote unquote.
No, is this user?
No, okay, so in that case we are talking about misappropriation here, isn't it? Yeah. Misappropriation, fine. And then you want to get to a particular level where you are reaching a benchmark, out of which you will say that, okay, for this level that you have gotten to, I think we can enter into nolle prosequa and then allow you to go scot-free. My call is that the Attorney General being a party on behalf of government, and then the lawyers of Dufo being there on behalf of their client. Who was the third party to ensure due diligence?
Third party?
There can be.
How?
Civil society is there.
No, they are not. No. The man was before a competent court of jurisdiction.
And is it the court that actually gave us this kind of verdict?
Attorney the state that was prosecuting him.
Okay.
You don't determine who should be at the negotiation. No civil society.
And who determines that?
Well, there's always a plea bargain. That's for that one.
I agree with the plea bargain, but the point of
this will be an aspect of the plea bargain.
The third party.
Yeah, so that after the third party, you can't bring in a third party. But I see what you are trying to do.
I understand what he's trying to do.
Because you see, the prosecution, in an attempt to justify why they entered nolle prosequa, beyond the admission of the fact that there may possibly be some wrongdoing, went on to say that it is in the interest, the overarching interest of the state. So if it is the overarching interest of the state, granted that the Attorney General represents the state, he is of the opinion that in coming to the decision of 60%, at least some other people should have been involved for transparency. No, I agree, but I'm saying that if that's perhaps what you're saying.
Public inquiry.
I agree with you. 100%. I agree with you.
Granted, what you are saying holds. The point is that what scientific basis brought us to the 60%? I want to find out, because you see the person
that's what I told the Attorney General will be briefing you see.
I think the Attorney General will bring the state of
on Monday. I'm just speaking to the substance of the matter here. So what I'm saying is that, you see, you are owing the state. The Attorney General comes and says that 60% nolle prosequa. My question, you may not be able to answer this question. Maybe his press conference will address that particular lacuna. My question is that, what considerations went into the determination at 60% level?
No. All right, that's a good question. We'll leave it for the institute to respond. But Prof, you wanted to also make a point.
What considerations?
Let Prof also make his point.
Owns this.
Prof, make your point. Prof, make your point. Make your point.
You see, we are gradually moving into a stage where anytime there's a publication, or anytime that we have an issue and be presented by a minister or from the office of the president, it takes another person, a different institution, or the same outfit to come and explain the issue to the public well. Good, having to realize it. Today we are saddled with this. The Dufo case has been squashed. Now we need AG to come and explain the matter to the public again. I don't know whether you've realized this. And it's a bad image for this administration. If all the time you explain, and I said the other day that a policy or statement sometimes must not be ambiguous for people to understand. What are we saddled with? What do we have? Is it that we have taken the case off and the person has been asked to come and pay 60% of the amount? Is that the issue? If that's the issue, that's fine. We don't need any further explanation again. I don't know what AG is coming to explain to us again. Okay. So we can wait. And we spend a lot of resources. It will be a press conference. And the press conference will pay money. You should be concise. Let your issue, touch on the important issues for us to understand. It shouldn't take another press conference to come and explain this matter to us. But the other challenge I have is, what is going to happen to Men's Gold?
Good point.
What is going to happen to those other those institutions?
Good point. I think the AG has made a good move to retrieve the money. Some monies, instead of jailing them, also feeding them and getting nothing at the end. Like Atufosin, an ambulance case of which the company wanted to pay, but at the end nothing was achieved and Atu won. So it's better to take at least 60% or more. That's fantastic. Okay. Good morning to you, KOD. Please kindly ask Prof not to compare apples to oranges. About Atu Jakpa ambulance case. Was he not in Ghana when that case was brought to conclusion by the court during the previous government, resulting in them being discharged and acquitted? The AG may be more privy to the issues as he believes as issues at stake, and he believed underage other store food items at an amount of 15,000 Ghana cedis. How would you gauge or charge these people? Thank you. Atani in Tema. I am sad this morning, KOD. The clearance done by the AG is wrong. I want the president to come in and reverse the deal with the people so that Ghana can get good money to run a 24-hour economy. I'm Eric from Hohoi. This one says, please go and read Felix Kwachofosu's Facebook post. He said the AG would 28th of July address the issue. Where is the message? How does it start? Good morning, Mr. Keori. Every Ghanaian genius is aware that any Ghanaian community emphatically dominated by a cabal of intolerant, arrogant, and most disgruntled political braggarts often create calculated indiscipline to incite hysterical anarchy that can culminate to very violent physical. Hey, Charlie. Ali Dumahama, you are back with your English again. KOD, are you guys not organizing the Oral Must Work Demo? I think I've read this message already. You sent it via text as well. This one says, whether they bring the money or not, they should prosecute everyone involved. Okay. KOD, kindly ask Prof not to compare. I think I've read this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So they send it as normal text and then they send it as, Council, I have been watching your program every day. Please come to our aid. We need our jobs back. We are contract staff of GRA. We have been sacked from work. We were sacked from work last year and we are in court, but our lawyer is not following the case again. Let's see. Go on to security. On the issue of those who stole goat, I know for the fact that the people in the goat and plantation stealing category are also provided the same opportunity, but some are not able to pay back the fine, hence the conviction. Let's be fair to the politicians. Thank you. Good morning to KOD. This is Asa Pocket from Aglo Farm. I want to greet the president and his cabinet for delivering according to their promises. Eyezu till 2096. Good morning, Pan-African team. Please, how far with Mr. Kenofrata's case, David Giewonu, John Tag in Oti region? Oti region is big. Where in Oti region are you sending us a message from? Is it from our hometown, Akabwem, or where? Willie only mentioned lies, though not proper to the person of Prof. But his reference was on Atufosin's case settlement in court and not Nolly Prosecutor Imoro Awuni Kamvili. Good morning, brothers. Good morning to you, sir. All right. Also, this message simply says, KOD, good morning to you and the panelists. Please, don't you think 60% taking now is better than losing it all, like what the former AG did to Ghanaians in the ambulance matter? Kelvin Brown in Brekum sent in this one. I support Attorney General's decision. Okay, Akpaliok, I think I've read your message already. We want to see Pan-African television. How about the money laundering of dollar and pounds trafficking of Ochodakon to other countries? All right, okay. Good morning to you, KOD. In fact, as a party, we should be very careful in dealing with issues that are going to tarnish our image and also drown our popularity easily, rather than give the opposition MPP more grease to their elbows. We should also make sure that we receive all stolen monies and convey the culprit to serve as a deterrent to others. Also, by so doing, it will rather earn us more trust. George from Ablikuma sent in this one. This one says Kofi Sika. KOD, 1. Was Dr. Dufo and Co convicted by competent court of justice? 2. How long has the case been in court? What has been its benefit to the state? 3. How long should we fairly allow the case to travel since the previous AG couldn't obtain any convictions? Can we look at these questions as well? Thank you. KOD, so prophets on your platform today again defending MPP. They should wait until AG deals with them. Stephen from Kwabenya sent in this one. This one also says, KOD, why are you taking tea and your panelists are not taking tea? Copy from Kumasi says, good morning to you, KOD Esquire. You just read 3 reasons, and I thought one of the reasons says AG doesn't have enough evidence to secure a conviction. So what are you saying? If you play back the video, what you explained to the viewer who said you are not being fair to Dufo and others is respectfully not the position of the AG. The AG saying entering a nolle prosequi doesn't mean there's an absence of wrongdoing. It's not indicative of wrongdoing either. It means he is not sure to secure a conviction if he goes ahead to prosecute. Therefore, you are not being fair to him. In any case, we need our monies back. And if he achieves that, I think we are good to go. When you are not sure, negotiations are always better to get sobering for something for the state. Kobe from Kumasi, thank you, Kobe, for your message this morning. Pani from Amprobi, I salute you. He said I should give you people tea. Evelyn Ansa in Dodoa says the names of the culprits should be mentioned and the amount embezzled. Evelyn, thank you. KOD, I'm in support of Doctor's idea. It's fantastic because someone is in jail because of a goat. Others are looting and sharing the country's money. They should return the money back. Adam A. Gafaro from Yendi sent in this one. Let me do some text messages. Okay, good morning, boss. Please get in touch with me personally. You don't have to read this message. It's what I talk about to do together. All right. I'll give you my number. Kindly reach out to me if you can. This one also says, good morning to you. How much rent has CBG paid for the use of Unibank properties over the years? How many cities that the government of Ghana owe to Unibank through unpaid loans to contracts they granted from Ateng Teshi Nungwa? And this one simply says, hi. Oh, hi back, my brother. KOD, okay, I think this one you've sent it like 1,000 times. You've said like 1,000 times. People are still sending messages on the cathedral. Hey, Ghana. My time is up.